All right, Rick, my audio sound's not working, so I guess we're just going to take it live, unless you want to sing it.
Are we live now?
We are live. It's
We're live
AITV.
and
Hello,
live,
hello.
man. I tell you. Okay. So, yeah, I want to do the intro. So I'm gonna pull it up here real quick. I'm just gonna go to present mode if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me share my screen, make sure all the audio is working and the entire screen. I know I got to figure this out. All right. So welcome to AITV. Yes, it is the place to be to find out about AI all the time. We're alive and ready. In fact, what I'm going to do, there we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start us off with the subject of the night. Yes, it is. It's Nana Banana time, baby. Now, you've been hearing about this, and we're going to talk tonight with a couple of people, including Chris, who's into filmmaking. And this is a big game changer. We're going to talk about why that is. We're going to start off talking about a little bit of news, but I just figured I'd share you a teaser of what you got in store on AITV. I'm Rick McCauley, the Dangerous Man, and with me is Brandon, the producer. And then we're going to play this to start with, and then we'll go to our news section. Here you go.
Yo, 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 what's the craze? Nana, banana blowing up the place.
Nana banana, meme of the year. Turn on his wild, make it crystal clear. Photoshop plug-in, career in your phone. Grandma making movies right at home.
Get away, yeah. Kid on the bus, dropping stories on the fly. Grandma on a giraffe in the dolly sky. Tommy made a book, turned dreams to steam. Nana banana, yo, it's a meme machine.
Nana banana, meme of the year.
Yo.
Turn ideas wild, make it crystal clear. Forget mid-journey, passe, passe. Ideogram good, but we got the play.
Chat GPT with eyeballs, Gemini, whoa. Click, click, boom, watch your mind just go. Waha, everybody laugh. Nah, bananas got the whole world tapped. Make a film in a flash, Spielberg on demand. $1 million budget sitting in your hand. If you can think it, then you can make it. Nana, banana, no problem, we'll shake it.
Nana banana, meme of the year. Turn ideas wild, make it crystal clear. From grandma's dream to a TikTok jam. Nana banana's the new world slam.
Yeah, so that's Nana Banana, and I've got with me a guest that we started and met last time, Chris Vallone. Yeah, he's here with us. Vallone Works Productions, yes, sir. So last week we met him over at Curious Refuge event that he was doing with a bunch of AI people in the library up in. Tell us more about that, Chris.
Yeah, so I started the meetup almost a year ago, and just watching Curious Refuge, I subscribe to their channel. So when Caleb came on and said, "Hey, if you want to start a meetup somewhere, just pop us an email and say where you are, what location, and we'll help you out." So they help you out. They promote you on their channel. They post it on Eventbrite, and then we started doing some meetups. So in the beginning, it was just at a little restaurant, Mama Bella's down in West Palm. And I picked it because it was a cute little place and it was cozy and the people were just starting to get the restaurant going. So I like to help small places out. And they had a beautiful TV right behind the bar. So I figured if we did want to show some shorts, they allowed me to use their TV.
So you had like 15, 20 people, and it's taking place now in West Palm at the library?
Yeah, so it was a little noisy at the restaurant. So everyone was like, we can't keep shouting over each other. What could we do?
Right.
And then I kept thinking to myself, it's got to be a location where they have a good screen and a good, media room. And sure enough, checked up on the libraries and they offer it for nothing, So
Wow.
I just schedule it with them. You go right on their website, the Palm Beach Gardens branch library, and you just book a room and that's it. Pick your dates and that's it.
So what day of the week and when is it that they can catch you next time?
So the next one's going to be October 1st. It's Wednesday, October 1st. I try to do them on Wednesdays or Thursdays, mostly Thursdays, but man, that library's booked a lot. So
yeah, I bet.
I try to keep it every month. We try to do this, So I think 2 months ago, we had about almost 30 people there. So it was a good turnout.
What's crazy about all this in the film industry? Of course, Curious Refuge is like the go-to. They just got bought up by a big company, and they're going worldwide. These little meetup groups, though, that's where you figure out how to do this stuff, right? This is back to the day when hobbyists would do this thing, like learn photography, and then you have a photography group, and I did all that kind of stuff. So, how did you get to be interested in AI, and how long ago did your film kind of ideas come from?
Oh gosh, I mean, I grew up on Looney Tunes cartoons. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to get into
Okay.
animation and cartooning. So it started way back when I was in grade school.
Yeah.
And
You've
I don't
actually
know.
done it semi-professionally for a little bit, and you've made a couple of
Yeah,
films already in the
yeah.
last
So
10 years or so?
yeah, in the early 2000s, when I got right out of college, I was doing live action films. So I had my own stunt crew out of Connecticut, and we did action films, horror films. I actually did a full feature film for $2,500. It was called The Agent, and I had stunts in it and guerrilla filmmaking on mini DV tape, and I wound up selling that and went international. So
Okay.
yeah, it was an
So
hour and 40-minute film.
when I met you, first of all, I found out about you through Curious Refuge because they're really
Mhm.
promoting all over the world. If they have these meetup groups, sometimes I want to get Caleb to come out and speak to us because that's what's got to happen. So we need to get a couple hundred people to join in. So if you're curious about this, if you want to find some refuge with some people like-minded, like Chris is, and the cool thing was you actually showed, yeah, there you go. You actually showed the film that you're making right now that's appearing where? Where can we see this thing?
So the one I'm working on right now is not done yet, but I do have one playing this Saturday at the Hollywood, Florida Film Festival. It's my first AI film,
Right,
and venturing back into filmmaking after 18 years.
right.
So it was just on a whim, really. I have a script that I wrote 18 years ago called Seven to Hell, and I wanted to make the trailer for it. I figured, let me
Yeah.
just dabble in AI and just test this out. I'm watching a lot of these videos. And then Curious comes around and says, hey, we're doing a horror contest in October. I'm like, maybe I'll try it. All I got to do is grab a piece of the trailer and make this 5 minute short. And that's what I
And
did.
if you haven't seen some of these film festivals, these are legit freaking films. I mean, it's the short that you showed us, and then you said you made one before that. I guess is this film, right? And then the one you showed us there, I was like, oh crap.
That's 15. Yeah, that was my 15-minute one that I finished like back in April. I finished that. That took me 4 months to make.
And that's a one-man deal. So you're Steven Spielberg with this in your
It's
pocket. Or...
Yep.
Well, it's probably on a desktop a little bit though, huh? You're not prompting off your phone, are you?
Yeah, listen, it's in my blood, and these stories of mine that I'm resurrecting after 18, 20 years is pretty exhilarating.
That was the beauty. When I had you on there, we had a hard stop at was it 8 o'clock or something? Like I went out in the rain, got in my car, turned on the car headlight, and then toggled my phone, and we went on after about 30 minutes. Thanks, Brandon, for taking the little dead space.
It was like watching the post office. Nor sleet, nor rain, nor no Wi-Fi.
Nothing's
The
gonna
AITV
stop us,
must go
baby.
through.
But what was really cool is what you said about the story, about the human thing. And this show is about that, man. If nothing else, it's about that. And you said it, and I felt like I was hearing an echo because you said it the same way I say it. Like all this AI stuff. Yeah. Okay. So I got in my pocket basically $1 billion budget and every actor and everything I want, but not everybody's Steven Spielberg, right?
Right.
They don't have the lived experience, or the agency or the 10,000 hours that you all put into it. And then it's the blood, sweat, and tears. It's so your genre, do you like horror films in general?
I actually don't. I never grew up as a horror fan. I just always knew growing up, making films, indie films, horror was a genre to help an indie filmmaker, because you don't need name actors to get your horror film noticed. I mean, just look at Blair Witch. That you don't know any of those actors, but that movie made a ton. So you got to look at things as a business as well. As much as I'm an artist, I want to look at it as a business as well. And I figured horror was a good shoe-in. I got
to tell you, you said Blair Witch Project. I just got to tell you the story. My wife threw up after watching Blair Witch, and we found out she was pregnant.
Oh,
and
wow.
The woman's house we were at, our best friends forever, she had a pregnancy kit. We weren't trying to get pregnant or anything. So he's 30 years old now. So, it's okay. But so she goes upstairs and uses her pregnancy kit. And within 3 days, she got pregnant and our sons were
Oh,
born
wow.
3 days apart. We've been lifelong friends forever.
Wow.
Yeah, in Chicago. They moved to Chicago. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. So there's my Blair Witch segue. But
There you go.
But I want to get back to the human part. In fact, that's actually a good example, right? The idea that you go on vacation, you come back, you tell this horrible story, or that we have this moment. I had this moment with my family, now with everybody, right? That the Blair Witch Project led to this, it led to that. We tell the stories. I mean, the Bible is just a collection of a bunch of books that are basically what not to do, what to do, how to act nice, how to act bad. It's just an instruction manual for humanity. And it's a Bible, which means it's a library. Bibliotheca means library. So it's 1,000 books written by 1,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So imagine it's got everything from Pulp Fiction to The Right Stuff, within one kind of thing. So when you're making a movie, what are you actually talking about? They talk about directors making the same film over and over again. What is it what's your Hitchcock zeitgeist of who you are? If it's not horror films, why did you make a horror? Just because there was a contest, or was it?
Yeah. Well, I wrote the script 18 years ago, the feature script. So, and I was in the middle of making the trailer to it. So I figured if I make a trailer and then have the script, I now have something pitchable. And when back then I couldn't film it because I didn't have the budget to film it.
Right.
So I figured let me just try this and see how it goes. But then when I heard about the contest, I'm like, all right, like I said, I'll take a piece of the trailer and now make it into a 5-minute short.
Yeah, that's it. That's
so it just, you know what it is? I mean, it's like these little RC cars I got behind me. It's like I feel like a kid again. I'm going back to my roots.
What you also do, those Volkswagens behind you. Tell us about that, because this relates, right?
So it's funny because I went to school for art, got a bachelor's of art, fine arts, and still wanted to be a filmmaker, artist, all that kind of stuff. And when I was in art school, I just felt that an artist needs to drive a Beetle. I just felt like a Volkswagen Beetle is the art car.
Yeah, absolutely. I got you.
And when I was filmmaking, I had all my film gear in my Beetle. I had a '71 Super Beetle convertible. That was my first Beetle, and I don't know anything about cars. I didn't go to school for it. But I just felt like it was the car. But as I was filming doing films for 10 years, the bug was a hobby in the background. I was getting into it with my pop, and because my pop was a mechanic in Brooklyn when he was younger, so it came to a point where in my late 20s, I'm like, all right, I'm a starving artist. I got to start making some money. I'm living in New York. I can't keep bumming off my folks. And, so I turned to, but I couldn't work for anybody because I got entrepreneurs in my family. And I said, you know what, I'm going to start an eBay business. And I turned to my dad and I said, look, let's buy and sell the Volkswagens on eBay, but we'll use my film background. I'll showcase the cars with music and titles, effect, when nobody was doing that 20 years ago on eBay. And it was very difficult to even embed a video onto the eBay auction. It was very archaic. But I did that. And then, with that first year, man, we flipped 12, 13 Beetles that first year. And we generated such a following that one of my cars actually sold to Billy Joel Armstrong from Green Day. And then that's when I talked to my dad. I'm like, man, we got to get a shop, because people were now calling me saying, I don't want to bid anymore on eBay. Could you build me a bug? I was born in '67. Make me a Beetle. Wow. And I said, holy God, they'll put the money up. And so it just took off from there. And that's when my YouTube channel started. So I've been doing YouTube for 20 years on YouTube, with the Volkswagens. And that brings in a lot of work. It's a lot of marketing, but all combining my filmmaking background. So I've been filming still, even with the business, so.
Right. So I want to have you come back on the show, because I think that you're exactly what I want to get, right? It's this. You got that rich story, even you're weaving in, the Blair Witch Project and the Beatles. These are things that we want to. My whole zeitgeist is we're going to be faced with a choice. If we've got no job we have to do, what job would you choose? I mean, it sounds like your Beatles is a passion that you would do that even if you weren't really getting paid for it, right?
Yes, yeah.
About the story, it's about your life, right? In fact, I did this big deep dive existential thing. Everything about human life is a story and a game. if you think about going through K through 12, right, you're just going for each little piece of paper along the way, and you pick up this little knowledge, and that lets you get to a job, and then you get to a job, and you're playing Pac-Man through all of life. Now, how rich
Yeah.
you make that experience is by who you put in it, who you come in with your game, who you go on the journey with, your loves and your children and your this and your that. And, it's like, that's what makes us human. And I hope that at the end of it all of every human being has a life I've had. I've never worked a day in my life. I literally, every single job working for the Miami Herald as a photojournalist, hell yeah, I would do that for nothing. And I turned down $10 million a year that my dad had taking over his insurance company to go do this instead.
Right.
And it was good money, but like if you follow what you're put on the earth to do, and you always give lovingly to everybody and make sure you take care of those around you, hell, you just got a beautiful life and you sleep good at night, or you don't sleep because you're so excited about what's next, right?
Yeah.
So let's land that plane. But I really want to invite you back anytime because I love the idea and I want to see your film. So I don't know if we're going to get to it tonight or we can see some stuff. But so
I was going to say, my question for you, Chris, is if we can't make it down to the film festival this weekend, because some of us don't get to live in Florida, where is this? Is it available on streaming platforms anywhere, or is it going to be? Where can we find it?
All my films thus far, all my AI films are on my YouTube channel, Valone Works, and just they're all there. So my one that I showed you last week, the 15-minute one, I mean, she's over 360 something thousand views already. So she's kicking some butt, and it's pretty cool. I mean, for a brand new channel that I started, I mean, it's a different niche of mine than the Volkswagen stuff, So, AI is a hot thing right now. So if you got good, good films and a good product to show, people will see it.
Well, and it's sort of like the opportunity to go do it. So just last night, I published my 20 romance songs. I got 120 songs. All my life I've been doing. Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Thanks. So yeah, all my life I've been writing music and now I'm getting it copyrighted. But you're now making movies because you can't. I mean, you literally, what would it cost to make that film if you were to hire actors and do it?
Millions.
It's not even in the realm of imagination, right?
Yeah,
so
millions.
The magic of it is you've got a story to tell. And I was almost crying because the story you told in that brief amount of time was quite beautiful. And it was about a child being rescued it was the woman rescuing herself. I mean, it was just a complete story within a story. And it really pulled at the heartstrings. So, I mean, a great artist can take chalk and make you cry. I mean, the Red Balloon is a beautiful example of that in my mind. He's just a little camera and he's going around shooting it right, but the complexity to which you can use your imagination, if your imagination needs an orc army, that might be a little bit, but now literally we're all democratized to, it's the value of our thoughts and our ideas.
And I think more and more it's going to be story. Because we can all make movies now.
That's the real thing it sucks at, is it sucks at telling stories because it's never had a first kiss and a last goodbye, right? So that's the human thing we're talking about right there, right?
Yeah.
So you made that story based upon something you experienced in your life, and it could have been a passing, or it could have been another movie that influenced you. So when people start thinking about, oh, it stole my stuff, no, man. Everybody stole somebody's stuff because we're all built upon our ancestors. The Star Wars is the same retelling of Harry Potter. It's the hero's journey. That's been going on for thousands of years before you were even born. And all you did is recast it, So anyway,
there's a guy who had a documentary out, and the name of his documentary was perfect. You could look it up. It's called Everything is a Remix.
Yes.
And he goes through even from Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Stones, Star Wars.
How do you measure the difference between AI slop, and Brandon, you know that word really well, right? And really pure genius. And so I use the Spielberg because just think of the films that man made, from Schindler's List to Jaws. Holy crap. Yeah. To E.T., to working with John Williams, and like what that means. So he's not just a vibe coder, he's a superhuman. Oh, there you go. Oh, Kirby Ferguson. Oh, thanks for looking that up. Oh man, I love this. I love having a producer on my show. This is great. I think I want to add, Brandon. I want to add an AI to it to fact check us if I say something wrong or do the fact wrong. It's like it's
no, that's what I'm for. I'm that people say I'm artificially intelligent, but Chris, I am curious. I have two questions for you. Thank you again for being here. And I'm excited that we actually get the full interview this time instead of the clipped version that we got last week when the library so rudely cut off the internet, just because they were closed. But what tools are, because we talk a lot about chain of craft and it's not just necessarily one tool. You might write and polish things in ChatGPT. You might use Midjourney for images. I am curious about your chain of craft and how you get to the finished product, if you wouldn't mind sharing just a little bit of that.
Sure. Try not to indulge too much. It can go on. We can talk forever, but definitely start off with chat. But again, I'm throwing in my stories. So like when I tell my students in the class, you can go to ChatGPT and say, let's write a script about a frog on a lily pad in a swamp. What could you give me? And then ChatGPT will give you a ton. But I like to walk in there and give ChatGPT pretty much my whole synopsis or treatment of my film that's in my brain.
That's it.
And if I'm in a block where I need improvement on, I just use chat as a partner. It doesn't take over the whole operation.
In fact, to double down on what you just said, if you just say, make me a thing about a frog in a lily pond, that's AI slop, but defined.
Yeah.
If you come with your whole life's experience, you've been thinking about this literally your entire life. That's when you got something that elevates, and that's it. I think those people that are haters just never had a thought that complex in their head at one time, and it died of loneliness. It's like so.
And I tell a lot of artists too, because listen, I went to art and I worked with my hands and I sculpted and I painted and I used chalk and all the good stuff that we were trained to do. But if you are a creator, you just use the AI as a tool to enhance, your art. If I have characters, I'm sending in characters that I drew years ago and throw it into the AI.
So you've hit it on the nail right there. You just talked with pride of having made things with your hands. When you work on that Volkswagen, there's hours and hours, and no one sees that. Right?
No.
You hear about these actors. Oh, they just, fresh out of nowhere. LeBron James. No, he spent his whole life purpose built. He was anatomically blessed, and he added, 1 billion hours of exercise and workouts and everything. Every food he put in his mouth is like meant to that moment. Right.
Right.
So if you want to get it, you got to earn it. And your humanity is something that it's not a participation trophy. I think this is our modern day problem, right? My kid got a participation trophy. I threw it away. You don't get that for showing up. Showing up is how you get the opportunity to show what you can do, but then you got to put in the 10,000 hours.
I was wondering where that trophy went. I thought it was left it right there.
I think that's where,
kids, right, Brandon? Did you actually accept those participation trophies for your kids, or did you teach them?
For my kids, for me, I have 13 bowling trophies, 1 year for every year that I bowled for professional participation.
Oh man, I literally got rid of those. And the other thing I wouldn't allow is my grandparents-in-law would buy lottery tickets, and I'm like, no, not my children. They're putting 20% of every dollar they make away for long term, baby.
Oh man,
and
I wish I did that a long time ago.
Right today, because of that, they ain't doing lottery.
But when it's $1.7 billion, I did not. Nobody did. It's going up to 1.7 billion for Powerball on Saturday.
And then what happens?
How do you think we're gonna fund season 2 of AITV, Rick? We gotta play.
Man, I got it handled. I'm the dangerous man with money in my pocket. Keep up, buddy. Yeah, we're talking about. I'm sorry, Chris, but this is a little inside joke. Last night we were on Brandon's show, and he's talking about the lottery and if we should use ChatGPT to kind of game the system. And I went on ChatGPT and says, "Is there any way to game the system?" No, it's a fool's errand to put your money. You're throwing it away. You might as well burn it. Make paper.
And I asked ChatGPT for 5 random numbers, and it said, "Oh, and do you want me to pick a Powerball number 2?" I'm like, "How did you know that's what I was going for? I didn't say nothing about the lottery."
Because it's been talking to humans for 1 billion years already. It's had every conversation virtually that's ever been had on the internet. That's how we built the damn thing. We just slapped it all together. So then you can pull off that pile a bunch of AI slop, or you can make a great film like what Chris did.
And Chris, that's my other, going back to my other question for you, and talking about that divide between the human element and the AI, is where are you drawing inspiration for those stories? Like, are they stories that you've held on to for years and you just never had the vehicle to tell them? Because that's what we find a lot with AI, is that it's a release for things that have been pent up for a long time.
I'm just I have it in me, like there's some even today still, like before I put my head down on that pillow, sometimes an idea just pops into my head. You know, I'm always thinking. It's almost a curse sometimes because it feels like I can't then go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm musically driven.
Banana.
I'm musically driven, and I'm not a musician by any means, but I grew up with Fantasia, and I grew up. I don't know why. I love certain soundtracks from movies, especially one of my favorite is Braveheart, and of course Gladiator. And I can listen to those soundtracks.
I see that in your film. Definitely see that in your film.
Yeah, and I grew up on Left of the Mohicans and Dances with Wolves and Terminator and all those movies that have such, because like Spielberg says, 50% of the movie is the music, and or sometimes more. And so I can listen to a song while I'm driving somewhere, or I'm in the shower or something, and I'm listening, and something I could just think of a short. And Walt Disney, that's the way he made Fantasia. Those songs spoke to him of what those visually was in his mind, what they were supposed to be. So there was Christmas songs in there, but to him they didn't sound like Christmas songs. So I don't know. I guess my dad plopped me down, and his Looney Tunes was very musical. Every motion, every step that they took, there was a musical note. So I absorbed all that, and
there was real jazz being played on those things. I mean, and they were live musicians that were doing it, and there was a feeling to it that really just it seemed incongruous that you would have Looney Tunes with that sophisticated of a music track.
Yeah,
because it wasn't a soundtrack; it was a real jazz group that was doing some funky shit.
No doubt, man.
The Jetsons and all the other, all that stuff is that. So what I really think is interesting, and then maybe this is sort of the segue that we move on. I want to have you back because this is deep diving. It's going to place exactly where I want to be going for this whole show. This is my reason for doing the show, Chris. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it's this idea that I was a visual artist, so everything came through my eyes and still pictures, not continuous pictures. And I think we're moving to a point where we used to think of artists as a painter. Monet made this image that took him 20 days and 50 days, 100 a year. Sistine Chapel, took many years. That's it. And it lives for 1,000 years, or it goes into obscurity. That's kind of how it's been. Now we're making so much stuff that to raise to the bar, you have to end up using all the senses. So, it's not quite smell-o-vision. I don't really think smell-o-vision would be good. Maybe there's a film that needs smell-o-vision or VR. I don't feel like many movies need VR. Some of them just need audio and visual, but this synesthesia that you connect the two, because they've always talked, psychologists and brain experts talked about our idea of what reality is, because the construction of our closed doors being opened, the ear opens and it brings something in, and that influences the other, and then they speak to each other. And that crosstalk between like smelling something or seeing something that you smell, or synesthesia is the idea that, you're watching something and you hear something at the same time. Yeah. And if you're actually able to orchestrate that experience, which is what Spielberg does, and that's what Walt Disney does. And what you're talking about in Fantasia is the visuals matched the music, which was spectacular. It had that classic thing. And that's where I think the artist of the next generation is a multimedia artist in the truest sense, and an experienced designer. Steve Jobs talked about, it's not about design. It's about, the phone is about the experience you have with it. Like what we're doing right now, I could be doing on my phone, and that's just crazy to think about 20 years ago. But anyway,
Real Estate in Columbus is saying in our comments that the new Superman movie. He saw it in 4D where they included smells, lights, heat, water, and lots of other
Oh, yeah.
movement to supplement what was happening on the screen. So you're having the immersive experience. And so,
Yeah.
we think about that immersion that's coming with AI and all the different channels that it enables. My new, I'm going to get it on a t-shirt. My new moniker is "Please don't lick the LLM." And so we got to be careful with how far we push this stuff, but.
Well, I just hope what this technology does is that, we've seen a lot of this, like you said, a lot of the slop right now. And because we all have access to it, it's just like back in the day, when I was shooting on mini DV tape, everyone could go to Best Buy and get a mini DV camera and say,
Right.
"Oh, I'm going to be a filmmaker." But in the end, I hope it weeds, the real people will stand out and the fat will be trimmed. And there's always going to be slop, but I hope in the end, this is used as a tool that someone like me or even someone like you that, we didn't have the resources back in the day or say the connections to make something, and our minds are creative. We want to do things, but now we have this. So
in the last year, I have now in my pocket 120 songs that took me 65 years to finally make where I could listen to it. I've only known the words on a piece of paper. And occasionally, if it was really good, I had a friend of mine do some scoring for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that, and now I do, and it's like I can't stop because it's 25 years of every dream I've ever had, every experience, every loss, every love, everything. So like the more human you are, I think that's it, right? The more human, immersively experienced you are, even the good, bad, and the ugly, right? It's for sure, right? And that's a good movie too. But that's it.
And since high school, man, I've been having ideas for films. Like this is what's crazy. I still have this from 30 years ago. I was a senior in high school. This is what I was thinking movies. I have this cat character that I thought of, and he fights these rats. And this cat, she summons these rats to take over this land. So I was even thinking back then, similar to what you saw my film last week was. So even a teenager, I was so in the zone to be a creator.
Yeah.
And so
when they do say that, Spielberg makes probably better yet, Hitchcock makes the same movie over and over again. They make the same movie because that's what their life. It's a reflection of their life.
Yep.
And all the complexity. In fact, Tolkien made Lord of the Rings. He didn't make the movie, obviously, because he was in World War I. Did we figure out that was the correct reference, Brandon? I don't remember. I think it was World War I. He was an ambulance driver, and his buddies were Samwise Gamgee, right? They were those guys that died, and because they were fighting Hitler or whatever, World War I, whatever it was. And that's why he had to write that story. It was the common person pulled off the streets of London that got sent to save the world. And that's basically it, And
this is why we do AITV and not history TV.
Well, we got to remember to learn from history and then maybe expand upon it. So if you're going to get the chance to stand on the shoulders of all humanity's knowledge, and this is where we're going to go right over to Nana Banana, because I'm going to make this transition. Wait for it, Brandon, because here it comes, right? If you get the chance to stand on all humanity's knowledge, do it with the eyes and the humanity to say something more and better, and looked at every image and it kind of matched up what they were, etc. But when you put that inside of a large language model, which is all knowledge, if I say make a human heart or make a brain that shows the effects of plaque and how Alzheimer's works to attack the brain, then make it out of real brain tissue and annotate it so a doctor could look at this, and then it does it. That requires all human knowledge about medicine and about, a brain science and Alzheimer's. And then it makes an image, and now it's actually getting exactly what you want, which is nuts. So we'll take a look at a couple of examples where basically before you had eyeballs that were seeing like they're only eyeballs, they're not connected to a brain. So I call it the ChatGPT moment, hold my beer. And so what I'm about to show you are images that I created in ChatGPT when it got a brain. And then I'm going to show you what Nana Banana is doing with that same brain eyeball combination. So literally we're building Frankenstein. We built a large language model, which is all knowledge that's your brain itself, but it didn't have eyeballs until we had DALL-E, we had all those other things. So it had to look at all the pictures. Then we started showing it the VO moment, or the Sora was the original name, right? When Sora came out, it was like, holy shit, how did it figure that out? Well, it watched 1 billion hours of video. In fact, the head of OpenAI said there was a picture of a truck going through the mud, and the water splashed up, and you could see the translucence through it. You could see the mud inside of it, and you could see the refraction of light, and a spark happen. You only get that is if you have a world model. So what we're talking about here is you got the brain world model, words and then you got pictures, and now you got motion. So now you understand gravity, you understand, and now you've got robots that can pick up an egg and know that it needs to be picked up gently compared to a rod iron or a bar of gold. So once it gets that, and it's got hearing, and then it can speak emotively, next thing is taste. And I think they're already working on that. And smell, which I know they have that under wraps too. So now you can show your phone. So I'm setting up a NAS server the other day, or I'm setting up my sprinkler systems. I take my phone out there with ChatGPT, I turn it on, it watches me. Oh, that's a model so-and-so. Let me look it up. So I had to program it, which was taking me 75 hours, right? It wasn't happening. I just had to get it to go from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. That's all I got to do. And it told me every button to push in sequence. And it did it in a really nice way that made me feel like I wasn't wasting its time. You know, if I tried to get my buddy next door to come help me, no, whatever time, so that's kind of where we are. So that's, I think, what's fascinating me and making me feel like, oh my God, I just can't sleep because what's next, right? So let's move on over, Brandon. Thank you so much, Chris. And man, you got to stick around and just hang out because we're having fun.
Sure.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so Perplexity AI announced earlier today that if you have Venmo or PayPal, you can sign up for Perplexity AI through one of those platforms and get a free year of Perplexity AI Pro, as well as access to their new comment browser.
Yeah. So everything I'm going to show you tonight. So this is Arvind Sanaras. He is just an amazing guy. He worked for Google. He worked for OpenAI. Then he took all that together. He took their search engine, and we're going to talk about that in the second half of tonight. But right now, students get early access to Comet for free. So go sign up for it. And the link is going to be in the show notes a little bit later on. So that's cool. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. And it just said the Photoshop plugin. So just to tell you, so Nana Banana, if you want to find it, Gemini's free right now. Go to 2.5. What's it called, Brandon? The actual name? It's
2.5 Flash image model,
2.5 Flash.
Which
So
they've actually leaned into the Nano Banana name now. So,
oh, are they? Or do you think they're going to take that?
They are. You see it in the UI now. If you're in Google Gemini, they're leaning in and putting that Nana Banana branding into the model now.
Okay. So what this is, so I'm going to show you a bunch of examples that are freaking outrageous. You just couldn't do this before. So what you're looking is 4 pictures. Now, what you can do, and here's a super hyper trick. I've got a whole bunch I've collected over 500 tricks that you can do, and I'm going to demonstrate at least 20 of them tonight. The first one is create a mood board. So you see those pictures across the bottom? You got a room, you got a purse, you got a lady, you got a man, right? And all you say to Nana Banana, put them all together, make it look right. And that's it. And you see the reflection of the man in the mirror? That all happened because Nana Banana is freaking excellent. And then what this is, and I'm going to put this in there as well. If you look for YouTube and you look for Nana Banana Photoshop plugin, it's a gentleman that has done plugins in the past. And I'm hoping, in fact, I talked to Adobe today because Nana Banana is inside of Firefly, folks. So you'll see it in there, not called Nana Banana. You go into Firefly, and I'll demonstrate that too. But so here we go. Let me just show you a little bit of what he did.
Or how you can implement it inside of Photoshop. Why? Well, the degree of control that you have with this is incredible. You can make exact selections around areas in your photo and change every specific pixel inside of that selection.
Yeah, so watch the screen in the top right. That's what it's doing.
So here we are inside of Photoshop. Now you can see here, I've got two images. I've got this photo here, which I generated in.
Now I'm going to slip on over and just kind of slide through this. So basically he took this swatch and put it with the couch, and then the couch changes its colors. And then he took this picture of just a snake and a head and then said, make it so. And it made this with all the shadows and everything. Now there's a new thing in Photoshop where you can take a picture and it adjusts the shadow and the lighting to make it harmonize, is their term for it. Now this is on top of that. Now it's $9 to buy a script, and he'll kind of demonstrate how he does it. So there's a sketch, and there it's real. And I'm going to be doing this all night long, so you'll get the idea of what this is. But basically, there's not a single thing. So there's no makeup, and there's makeup, and all you did is say put makeup on her. You didn't say anything else about it. So here is all the components. These are outfits from Vans, the sneaker company or the lifestyle brand, I guess. And he said, turn all these pictures into a website and use them. And it then created that. And then he did it again and did some other versions of this. So that's kind of cool. So the idea is, if you give it like 17 different things and you tell them what you want to make out of it, it'll make a man standing next to a couch with a reflection in the mirror. It knows physics. It knows dynamics. I mean, that's cray-cray. Then you can feed it something else and actually put the code in there like Claude. Now you can take this and as just an image, feed it to Claude and make your entire website. So it's a crazy thing. So here's the thing. You can go to, both Nana Banana and Flux Context. By the way, Flux Context is Flux, which is a great AI model with context, which means it works just like Nana Banana. Nana Banana, since it's from Google, just works a little bit better than Flux Context. And I've used them both extensively. They're both very inexpensive to use. And right now, I think it's pretty much free. So then this next one is going to blow you away. And I'll annotate it so you don't have to listen to the audio. But take a look at what this woman's wearing. She's got a necklace, gold necklace, letter B on it. She's got some shoes, some socks, blah, blah, blah. So he basically just had this woman taken apart and then
File. Actually, sorry, first of all, let's make a selection of our entire canvas here. And we can now go to File, Scripts, Nana Banana. Now we can say separate all of the clothing that the female is wearing and place it on a white background. Then there's a couple of different options that we can do here. We can select output to a new document. Now what this is going to do, if we hit generate, is it's actually going to create an entirely new Photoshop file for us. So it's not going to be using this exact file that we've got here. It's going to create a brand new one, and it's going to open that up and create a new image. And it's going to take all of these pieces of clothing and it's going to separate them and put it onto an actual mood board for us.
This is nuts.
Go ahead and start, playing
Oh.
with it. But you can see here, we've got the
So that's kind of cool. But notice the B on the thing. I mean, it's got a drop shadow. I mean, it's freaking nuts. And you also, since it's a script, all it's doing is going out, grabbing an API. So you're going to pay like 4 cents per image that you generate, 10 cents maybe, right? So you're going to be paying for that. So if you look, there's the bee on the necklace. So that's the bee that's up there. And then he says, get this, put those clothes on me. And it's like, it takes the clothes and he's counting all the different, stuff. So you can watch this right now. If you put Nana Banana in YouTube, you're going to find this guy. So look for him. He's showing off a Photoshop plugin. So that's kind of cool. So he's looking at the picture. He's making sure they got it right, because that's kind of weird. So then he selects the whole thing. He goes over to his script and he says, okay, so now put all those clothes on me. And then he uploads a picture of him. That's kind of just a boring picture. And he says, man wearing these clothes. Okay.
Hello and welcome to today's tutorial on
leaning against the cage at the skateboard park. And there he is. He's wearing the bee. He's got every one of her pieces. And it even adjusted the short so it looked good on the man. He makes a comment about that, which is just.
We've gone from this to this, where we've got the same clothes on file.
I mean, so now what can you do? Right? So this is the script, and there will be in the bottom. So here is Rob DeWinter is the guy that made this. My hope is, and I talk to the folks at Adobe right now, writing a script like this is like a no-brainer. This they could do tonight if they wanted to. So look forward to Max in October. I'll be there out in San Francisco at Max representing, and talking to all my friends and trying to get this. I mean, this is a game changer for everybody. So that's
And
what
if
it
you
does.
want to follow the other creator, it's youtube.com/@RourkeHeath is the name of the other creator.
Oh, okay. And then if you just put Nana Banana, there's another guy that gives you 50 use cases. So what I did last night, and to show you how crazy I am, I basically loaded 50 videos that I found out about Nana Banana, like what can you do with it, into Google Notebook LM, and I extracted, and I actually have a document I'm going to show you later with all those in it that I'm going to drop into the show notes tonight. So that'll be up when we post this the next day. So here's some examples, right? So there's somewhat comic book. So just give it a picture before, make it a comic book. Name is Lisa. There you go. You see the one on the right, and I'm actually going to try that within. This is the base picture they had, and they got the one at the top. So I've taken the bottom picture, and I'll demonstrate how to go about doing that. This one I thought was really cool. So I've been looking around all over the place to find great use cases. And this is really fun. So you've got part of it animated, but it specifically gave that 2D whimsical hand-drawn anime illustration style, but everything else is still the photograph intact. Cool use case. And here is first, design a landing page for a product called Zesty Orange Juice, have exploding elements and highly detailed UI. That's the picture on the left. Then put it onto a computer screen. Bam. That's just nuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
So here's my picture, right? So I did this Indiana Jones Escape from Perplexity as a joke, and that was going to be the cover when I did Perplexity. Was I was escaping from the complex world and into perplexity or whatever. So I said, okay, here's my face. And this is how I talk. This is literally verbatim from me just dictating it, right? I want to put this in an illustration of Indiana Jones Escape from Perplexity. It's an app, and I want to make it totally fully realistic, make me a little more handsome this time, the torch and everything. I want it to look like a photographically real shot, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. In fact, it did one facing left, and I said, no, he's got to be eyeball to eyeball, mano a mano, And I said, give him a little more, heft in the shoulders there. So there you go. There's the thing, and it actually used Indiana Jones typeface, which kind of shocked me, but I don't know. Okay, so then I said, same thing. Here's a picture from Midjourney. My picture, not a great one, but okay, I'm wearing an earring. Oh, I forgot about my earring. And then I said, okay. So I said this. I said, great picture of a pirate. I'd like to take my face, the first picture. So I got into the whole thing, and down at the bottom it says, he's in a bar from the 1600s. He looks like he's smoking a joint. I didn't say smoking a joint. I swear to God, I did not say that. But when it translates my words, sometimes it gives me a better thing.
Oh, wow.
It was a smoky joint. That's what I literally said. He's not smoking a joint. Okay, Mom. Up in heaven. He's probably sitting there with a pile of gold doubloons, and it spelled doubloons wrong. I don't even know if I spell it right. Drinking a beer, looking right at us, as you can imagine him saying, I'm the most dangerous man in the world. Instead of saying, I'm the most interesting man in the world, which I loved. I used to give people birthday wishes. You're the most interesting woman in the world, blah, blah, blah. So take a look at this. The most dangerous man in the world. He once arm wrestled a kraken. His shadow is banned in several countries. I didn't ask for that. And guess what my new name is that I'm going to use? Captain McAwesome's Ale. Holy cow. Now, it didn't make me more handsome this time, and I'm married all of a sudden. It seems like everybody in every picture is married. Tell me if that's a thing. So my guitar playing in my music videos, I'm married. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be married. Twice, didn't work out. So then, since I'm in Gemini, right, I say, Vio, hey, let's make this a real thing. And I want you to say, I'm the dangerous man.
I'm a dangerous man at 65.
And I would want to give one more shout out. This weekend, if you're in Florida, you're within spitting distance. Chris, where can we see your film live?
So my short film, 5-minute short, Hellbound Fugitive, will be playing at the Cinema Paradiso in Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, that's right. We're at 9 o'clock. Sorry.
Yep.
And
so it's It's in a 5 o'clock time slot, so between 5 to 8 short film time block.
And I think tickets are $20 if you want to go check that out. It's part of the Hollywood Film Festival, I guess.
Hollywood, Florida Film Festival. Yep.
And if you don't have time to make it down to Florida this weekend,
Cool.
you can catch
And
Chris'
you're finding
YouTube on at Valone Works down here.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, thanks a lot, Chris. I really appreciate it. And you're welcome back anytime, man. Especially if you want to show off. If you make any improvements on your film because of these new stuff, I'm really curious where you go next. Does this change your workflow as you're thinking about it? You're looking at the possibilities?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't have to, like I said, I usually use OpenArt, and OpenArt had a character creation tool there where you would send in a few pictures or character sheet of a character, throw it through the laundry, let it run for 15 minutes, and then it remembers your character. I don't even think you got to do that anymore.
No, it's one picture. It's one off. And you I can give you my face. It'll put the front side, the back side of my body just from memory. And the context windows are getting so large. So all of my pictures for my book, there were 65 illustrations in my book, all have the exact same. I mean, maybe 3 times I had to reprompt it. ChatGPT can actually select a region and have it reprompt and say, that's not my cat, and then upload your cat, and it fixes it. I think Nana Banana is just getting 20% better.
It's amazing. Process. It's amazing what we've accomplished. And I mean, from what I've been in AI filmmaking for not even a year yet, almost a year come this October. And what it's done in a year is just off the chart.
What it's done this week is blowing me away.
Yep.
I mean, so Brandon was just talking about ideogram, and I'm a subscriber to that. I use it almost all the time for the text because I'm a graphic designer, remember, right?
Yeah.
So if I was doing movies, I'd be definitely using Midjourney, and I do use Midjourney all the time. I use them all. So you got to figure out, well, what's the tool that does the thing you want to do right now? They're all parallel going towards the end game, just like you've got the big giant large language models that do everything. Now you've got these micro small little things that just get characters consistent, or they have storyboard, or you feed it text and you get this. Now this is where the nexus is coming together, where your ears and your eyes and your everything. So now the brain has eyeballs. And that was the ChatGPT moment for me, where I call it hold my beer. You thought that 7 fingers was a problem? Not anymore. Now it's a question of whether there's the right number of pores or the dimples in the right place consistently. Right. I mean,
that's exactly
the evolution within a year. Nuts. But yeah,
crazy
definitely come back and see us, because I think that would be awesome.
I will. This is a lot of fun. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Chris. So, Brandon, where do you want to go next? Do you want me to go to Perplexity, or do you want me to show me you actually doing stuff in?
I think we've got, we teach Perplexity. Perplexity had a big day today with the announcement that Venmo and PayPal users can get in for free. With the Pro
and
plan. Students can get in for free with the Pro plan now.
And Comet is now on your phone too, folks.
Agentic browser on your phone.
Right now, it's Android only, but it will be out on iOS.
Finally, Android gets something first.
I know.
I gotta
go
down
Photoshop was always late to Windows platform by 6 months sometimes. Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign all came to Mac first. So yeah, this shocked me too. But I'm guessing they're waiting until September to probably load it up. So Perplexity. In fact, this picture is. I had in the foreground, I had AI tool time, and I was going to put ChatGPT. So I literally have made this same picture with improving the face a couple of times and different hand movements, etc., exactly like this, but with every single logo and brand. So this is literally saying, take out ChatGPT, put in Perplexity, and then I loaded the logo, and I said, have that embossed into the wood. That's how you get it. So if you see it next week, it's going to say ideogram, then it's going to say ChatGPT, then it's going to say Notebook LM. So that's why this is kind of cool with the segue into it. All right. So what is Perplexity? And you're getting it for free if you're a student. Yay! And you're getting it all over the place. So Perplexity is what I'm going to talk about tonight. We're going to save Comet itself for another night. It is Perplexity on top of a Chrome browser with agentic capabilities, an answer engine. So let's say that you're on a website, summarize it for me. Now tell me 12 things I didn't know about this. Find me 5 YouTube videos and then turn it into a Perplexity page. Oh my God, I've just exploded. It's a meta thing, right? All right. So let me get down to what Perplexity is. It is not a large language model. It is all of the large language models. All right. First of all, it's an answer engine. If you go over to Google, you're going to get ads, ads, ads. And then once you wade through that, you get to an answer one at a time. Take your turn. Well, since Perplexity came out, you'll notice that recently when you go there, you're getting some real cool stuff. They're actually cannibalizing their money stream, their goose that laid the golden egg at Google, because he came out and stole that component with a super engine that does search like nobody's business. He's got a little bit of trouble for it. They started to shut him down, and people. So he's now paying the authors of content that get used on your Perplexity searches. So he's now started the process, like every large language model do, is to pay for the content that they actually use. It's almost like a Spotify method, and he is one of the people that's doing it. All right. Second thing, it's a mixture of experts. So it has inside of it, under the engine. So this is like driving a Mustang, but you've got every engine inside there. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, and Grok. That's that aggregation. That is that plug-in kind of expertise. Then you've got citation engine. So if you're in ChatGPT, always ask for it to citate and give you a footnote. This does it all the time. Every single thing it says is footnoted, where it got it from. You can click on that and go watch the YouTube video. Super, super useful. So on the left, you've got all large language models that ever existed. Number two, you've got fewer hallucinations because you have citations, and you can actually have. So what I do is I may export as a PDF over to ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. It's got the largest context window. Fact check every one of these and notate with a check mark whether it's right or wrong, where it got this information from, and is that accurate? Boom. So you double deck up this with another engine, and you got that. Then, this is the juicy part. I'm going to demonstrate this in a minute. I'm just getting these 5 things in here because this is why this is not like your grandma's ChatGPT, baby. This is the whole difference right here. Threads. You start with a thesis. You say, I want to find out everything there is to know about Nana Banana. And I want to have 12 videos to watch or 3 videos. And I want you to pull out the best information from all of those. And you ask one question and boom, you get these sequential questions followed by answers. Then, and I'll show you how to do it, you convert that into a page. So imagine that all that information then gets turned into a visually rich, meaning you can put your own pictures in there or grab pictures off search engine. You'll see that. And then you have a blog with chapter headings and everything. You'll see that in a second. That's cool. And then you got spaces. So you can load up 20 megabytes per file, 20 files. And so every one of my classes, photography class, I'm teaching it. I do this whole thing about the exposure triangle. Then I talk about composition. I put that all in there. It's grounded truth. Means I vetted, curated, and put the information in there. And then all my students, I can watch their actual questions, their thread, what they asked, what they got, how they turned that into a page, what they edited in and out. And then if they do a reaction paper or they make photographs, I've got a chain of craft, as Brendan says, or a chain of, what's it called, Brendan? Chain of craft. That's it. Chain of craft.
Chain
to
of
show
craft.
for it. Right. So then I got shared spaces so I can share it with anybody else. And then in your business, you can put it all together. All right. So number one, it's an answer engine. That's it. Right. So its search can be specifically tuned to what you want. If you want everything off the internet, you click on that toggle. That's that little Earth sign over there, right? So that's the web or only academic or social. So that would go look at Reddit, things like that. If you go on Grok, it's all trained on X or Twitter, right? Stuff. And it's also fine-tuned to be a racist and a Nazi and a bunch of other, and a 12-year-olds think they're sexy kind of thing. So anyway, it ain't that. Or you can set it to auto, and it's just going to kind of look at your question. And if you ask it in an academic way, it'll choose for you. So not only the ChatGPT problem that they had with 5 was people that got used to choosing one model because it was academically perfect or another model because super creative, right? Didn't have that choice. You've always had that perplexity. All right. Then mixture of all the experts. So this is built in. It's got stable diffusion. It's got VO now, and I didn't have time to add that to the list on the right for image generation. It's got sonar, which is there built in. So they took all the models from all the open source ones and basically cobbled them up to make them speedy jets. So their search is faster than Google search, literally. Their chat GPT 4.5 and 5.0, which is now in there, and Claude and Sonnet and Grok are all the latest models, whatever those are. So that's built under the hood. Then this is what you get. So this is what it looks like when you ask a question. So I asked the question, how does an X-ray work? And can you tell me, are there any new developments in X-rays using artificial intelligence? Boom. It got 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of the links right there, you can click and open up on the right-hand side. Those are the YouTube videos. So right now, from X-rays to AI-assisted diagnostics, you go off to the right, you click on that, you watch the video, you come back, and wow, now you have real knowledge. So it's a curator, it's a synthesizer. And then when you, this is just the first part, right? And then you'll see everywhere, you see the number 1 down here. So you click on that, and it's going to take you right to that location. Cool. All right. So then you've got something called an artifact. Then you've got a thread, and then you have spaces. So the artifacts are that you get a website. You can put the website into a grouping or cluster of spaces. So all of my photography students are in a space with all the photography students. Every question in there is based upon my textbook I load into the base of it, and everything they get comes from me, and I can see it. So I'm an educator. I've curated it. I filtered out any BS, and it's grounded and based on me. And I have citations. So if there's any question about the veracity, we've got it there. On the right, you'll see some of my different pages, or my spaces, I should say. So I worked with Adobe on some projects I worked on, and you can see I'm just all over the place with ideas. So a thread goes into a space, goes into, I'm sorry, a thread goes into a page, which is a blog post, basically, with images, and I'll show you that. And then it goes into spaces. Spaces is shared stuff. Here's an example of a library I have. All right, so I did this in Google Notebook LM. What is Perplexity? It's an AI-powered research engine. You can see all the ones. So you can attach features. You can go in incognito mode, so your information is not shared with anybody. You got model search, pro features, image generation, automation, and task management. And now with comment, oh my God, it goes even further because you got all those agent capabilities. So answer engine, these are some illustrations I did using ChatGPT to ideogram to kind of give you an idea of what it is. Mixture of experts. It's got ChatGPT and Claude. Obviously, it didn't spell everything right, but I thought this was kind of cool. So you're the director. So I just did this for fun to see what it would be like. And here you are with your academic shared space. And then you have citation engine with receipts. So I thought that was kind of funny. So here's an example. I was going on a cruise. And so this is literally what I asked. So this is a page, what you're looking at. And I'm going to take you into that page in a second because there's the link. So when you get this, you can actually go take a look at my page. So I'm going to Barcelona first, and then Marseille, Sagrada family history, blah, blah, blah. So along the way, I just asked it, tell me about it. And before I got on board the ship, I had watched 7 videos of where to have your cabin. And if you look, we had a balcony, right? Well, there's a section in the midsection that has lifeboats right outside your balcony, so you can't see a damn thing. And one of the videos said that's avoid that room. Thank God we already had this. But in every port, I then stopped and asked, where should I eat lunch? Give me a walking tour with 5 destinations. So bingo, let's go on over to take a look at Perplexity. Okay, so we're in the browser here. And so when you go to Barcelona, here's all the things to see. And if you want to take a look at any of these things, so here's the fast track. So we got there, and the line was 2 hours to go into, and then there's the 20 sources. So here's all the sources for what it just talked about. 10 top Marseille tours. Every city the night before, I said, what are the 10 top things? And then you click on that, guess where it goes? There you go. There's all the top tours. So we went there and we said, you know what? We want to get through the fast pass in Barcelona. And it gave us a $30 thing. We were in a line 5 minutes later. while I'm on my phone, by the way, we were in the front and we were inside, and people were still waiting 2 hours out front that had done this, right? So the beauty of all this is just, I mean, it's kind of crazy. So let's close that guy and go back up to this. So that's your sources, and that's just for one place. Then you can come in here and take a look. So every city. So here's Rome. Get to Rome. Want to know about Michelangelo's David? Here's the things about it. So I always ask, what are the top interesting facts about Michelangelo's David? Didn't know. And there it is. And then where to get it from? There's an academia right there. Florence's Michelangelo's David. I didn't realize there was an 8-foot version of him that he did like 3 of these. And one of them we walked to and then had a gelato next door recommended by Perplexity. I'm not making this. So literally every night. And then, so to take this apart, I'm going to click on edit. What edit does is allows me to ask new questions at the end of this. Here we are. So let's go ahead and find out. What's a question we want to know? Now, 3 things to do. So we're now taking a already made page. So this is not just the raw questions. This is an organized with images. I want to create a new extension of this, and let's pick a different city. Let's Istanbul, Turkey, I'll use, right? So I want pictures and text. Cool. I want it to have a table because sometimes that's useful. And I don't want concise. I want detailed. Okay, here's what I do. I'm going to Istanbul, Turkey. I'd like you to tell me 10 things in a table of where I might want to go that involve just walking tours when I get there. And then what tour companies, pick me 3 tour companies that will do day-long trips that aren't too expensive, but that stop at many places. I'm an academic and love to hear about the history, so I'd love to have a guide that is one of those kinds of people. Bingo. Okay, so I just go in there and I execute the question. I don't know what just happened. Oh, come on. Don't tell me it just lost that. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Now you're watching it real time, right? Hagia Sophia, been there. There's the picture, right? And what you'll experience. And there's everything. There's a YouTube video, right? So what do? Best things to do in Turkey. Going to go right over there and launch that video. And it's still working, obviously. And then when you
Rick,
get
how
to
do you find it to be on hallucinations? Do you feel like the information is pretty factual?
Well,
Or do
if
you
I'm
have to
really
double-check it?
worried about it, what I do before I give it to a student is I make a PDF of the entire thing. I feed it to ChatGPT, fact check every single thing. Now, if it was hallucinating this, I could not click on it. So that's not a hallucination because it did what I wanted to do. Remember, we were
Great.
talking last week about the difference between good hallucinations and bad ones is if you say this links to a video and it doesn't, that's a bad hallucination. So track record wise, it has 30% less hallucinations than ChatGPT, which is evidently in the 50% range. That's scary as hell. Plus, ChatGPT doesn't give you these sources. And guess what else it doesn't do? It doesn't do anything else. Okay, so now what's cool, and this is what you should always do. Once you've done, you have a couple of options up here. I can move it up and down because you can see there's the sequence of events. Okay, I can go to the picture and I can change the picture. When I do that, it then looks for all pictures having to do Istanbul walking tours. And sometimes I find if you copy and paste this in there, so this is a super great. So if you've got a PowerPoint, one of the options is you can actually upload your PowerPoint pictures in here. I've done that many times. Oh, here we go. I want to use that picture. I usually pick a horizontal because now I got Istanbul walking tours and it's showing you where I'm going. Oh my God. So that's on my phone now because every copy of Perplexity you have is the same content is there, right? And you switch from one mode to the other. All right, so that's cool. And then I could go back through here and then see what else I want to do. So the idea is you can go down and add a section at the end or go to another kind of situation. Oh, also, okay. So let me go back to the beginning. Let me just start. So you have libraries and I have my pages. Here are my pages I've created. So this is what, and there's the Azamara cruise planning trip. It does have a problem sometimes rendering the pictures. on a slow internet connection. Here's a real estate search I did. Here's an old boss I had. I searched about him. I did a whole profile on myself, which is quite great for your resume. A thread looks like this. So I was looking today. Oh, here we go. Tell me about Adobe Express. Quick, easy way to do branded content. Okay, so that's basically acting as a, let me go back to that. Okay, so Azamara trip. All right, let me go ahead and create a brand new one. And I'm going to put it in my let me pick a new page. I'm going to create a new search. Search in your threads. I'm going to look for photography. And I'm going to find a page I did on photography. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here's about me. So this is literally a search about me. So I asked questions about me. Of course, I knew the answers. So here's another cool thing. I'm going to hit edit. So I can go to this page, and this is how I did it. So your layout, you can change. You can change the title at any time to what it says. You can come in here and say, hey, you know what? Why don't you go back and do a little more editing on this, or you can rewrite it. I can change the picture out, and then I can add into this. So there's the Miami Street Photography Festival. And this was, unfortunately no longer in existence. There's the people that I worked with there. Those are the speakers. If you know photography, this is really impressive. And I got to work with all of them. So one thing you can do is you can add media only. If you do that and you say go, then it's, and you want to say, find photographs on the web taken by Rick McCauley at the Miami Herald. Okay. So it's literally going to go out there, and I'm going to say just for pictures. I don't know why it's not doing it right away. Maybe it's just a little bit slow on the internet side here. There we go. Okay, so now it's searching the web. It's looking for photographs taken by me. That's not my photograph, and that's not my photograph. But what can I do? I can go here and change. And what I do is that's a photograph by me, not photojournalism. Let's see what else it has. Oh, that's a video by me, right? I did not take that picture. Let me try. And this is my secret trick. You can also, obviously, I could upload my pictures from the Miami Herald, but let's take a look at what it's got here. I could probably do rickmccauley.com. There I am speaking. So let's say I want to add that to it. And actually, this is a YouTube video. So I think you could actually watch it. So I could go in there and change them all. Then I could add more media. So when I run out of spaces, I can come in here and add more pictures and more pictures and more pictures. Or I can go over and upload pictures off of my hard drive, go find them and load them up. So as a teacher, I make PowerPoints all the time, and I want to insert them in with knowledge that's really deep. That's how you would do it. All right, let's do a brand new search with nothing else going on. I have deep research. The fact that they have one thing that confused some people is they do have in here Grok 4, all of the models that you see here. So the best of everything. ChatGPT 5 is in there, and thinking, by the way. So you're paying extra for that. But at $20 a month, I have yet to exhaust it. And then if I say I want to look at just the academic papers, I'm just going to search the whole web. Oh, its finance stuff is off the hook, and you can buy stuff through here. I bought this microphone by asking, what's the best mic? Research it for us, and then clicked on it and bought it through Perplexity. Not making this up. That's a super cool extra trick that you didn't think about. Also, I can kick on right here. So tell me 5 amazing things about Nana Banana, and tell me 10 things we can do that are unusual, and find me 3 YouTube videos about Nana Banana on YouTube so I can go watch and find out more. Hey, can you stop a second and just show me what that looks like inside of Perplexity? Give me all those answers. Okay. Now it should actually do the search. For some reason it doesn't. I'll go ahead and just do this again. Tell me 5 amazing things about Nana Banana and why it's so amazing. And also why it's so amazing. You know, sometimes it doesn't get your by Gemini. It's an image making program. What are 5 unique things about it? Find me 5 YouTube videos where I can find out more, especially tips and tricks and how to use it. And then how is it different from every other model out there? How does it compare to ChatGPT or any other image making application, Midjourney, etc.? Thank you. Okay. This is called a thread. The thread basically takes your question, searches for everything about it. There they are. And then it gives you the answer in context with, guess what? YouTube links. So there it's explained, right? And I forgot to turn off my little audio down here. So you start with a thread, and then to show you how to turn this into something else. So now I can export it right now. And what it's going to do is take all of this and all the sources right here. So there's the sources. So we can see them. Here's the images that it's pulled up off the internet. So we can go find a picture, grab that, and use it in our next YouTube video, right? And then the steps it reasoned to get there. And this is not a deep dive. This is every question you ever ask of this model. Does Google do this? Hell no. I couldn't even find the last prompt I did in Gemini, for God's sakes. At least Google has, or I'm sorry, ChatGPT has a folder structure, so that's great. Well, let's get back to this. So now I've asked those questions, and I can follow up. In fact, it says, explore advanced editing techniques, tutorials for how to do it. Okay. Compare accuracy and speed to Midjourney. All right, let's find out about that. So it's an answer engine, and it citates, it annotates, and it gives you all of your control over everything. So that's pretty, oh, here we go. Oh, there you go. 2 to 5 seconds generation compared to 10 to 30. In fact, if you compared Nana Banana to ChatGPT, it's 1/10 the time. I timed it. It was 3 minutes per ChatGPT. It was less than 30 seconds for Nana Banana to do a better job. All that stuff you saw today was literally done in 1/6 of the time or 1/10 of the time. And then there we go. Okay. So now if we wanted to do that, we could share it. So I can just give it to you as a link right now. I can export it. So it's going to go as a PDF, as a document. That's useful. So what I do is I always do it as a document. Then I run over to Word, and then I file it into my Google Space, which, by the way, all the large language models have access to the Google Drive, your Google email, etc. You could allow them to get to it. Okay, so that's cool. And then what I want to do is share up here. I can bookmark it, and then this is what else I can do. I can convert it into a page. Okay, so we said this is a thread. That means all the stuff's there. When I convert to page, it'll take a second. It's going to make a headline. It's going to find a picture to go up top. It's going to give you images that go along with everything that you're doing. And it's going to put all the citations there into what looks like a beautiful chapter by chapter rendering of what you just said. Woohoo! Then you can share these amazing search documents. That was a thread that now has pictures in it. All the sources are right here. It takes a minute, right? So what I typically do is I take and I exhaust all my questions. When I get to the end, I've asked every question. There may be some that I find out they're kind of dumb questions, and so you can go back and edit them, change them. You can rephrase the question when you got a smarter version of it. So if you're an educator and you're trying to teach, the best way to teach exposure triangle, you go find the best videos, you go find the best resources, and then you get a table and create a diagram. You go through this like you have always wanted to be able to search the entire internet and get 1,000 answers at the same time with images, annotations, without having to touch Google's search, which sucks. Once you do this, you just can never go back to Google in any way, shape, or form. And Nana Banana, it's competitors. So it's still building this out, right? So yeah. And then it will allow you to, if you don't like the pictures it uses, I actually love this one because that's exactly what it's for. is that you just have a picture of a influencer, and then you have that same influencer doing all these poses, wearing a black shirt. So all the difference is, this is the picture. You say, can you put her in a black shirt with this product in the foreground, and she's selling it online, or this Jergens or whatever that is, tied, accurate to the T, and then you can then go and then say, oh, make that plant go away, make those handles go away, and then go to VO built into Gemini and make it a movie with a talking part.
Let's bring that plane in for a landing, Rick.
Okay, so to finalize it, so you can go and add the media. We learned about that. You can change it out for stuff you search for, or upload a picture, and then you go share it into a space. So when I'm done, I publish this, and then now this is out there. I could go back and re-edit it. I could share it. I can also go here and put it in a particular space. So I'm going to swap spaces, and these are my spaces. So this is my best practices, best pages space. That's what I use for demos. And then I can go back and I can add pictures, and I can do whatever I want. Is that cool or what? So this is a preview of upcoming. This is what you get on the side as you're on this page. You get an assistant that is Perplexity built in, but it can actually do stuff. And I'm in Chrome, basically. So all my Chrome tools are there. So, but I could go to YouTube channel, for example, and take a look at something about, oh yeah. So here I'm on YouTube in a second. And then I want to go to find out about Nano Banana. Oh, here's that video, right? So there's the video. Instead of watching it, I'm going to say, can you tell me everything about the top 10 ways you can use Nano Banana, especially with the way it's plugged into this Photoshop plugin? How do I do the plugin, and how would I go about doing it? So it's Perplexity built in. So remember that thread thing we just did? Guess what it's doing? It's threading right now based upon this. And it has all of everything that's in there. So here's a complete guide. And there it is to buy the thing for $10. And it tells, there's the install script for Macintosh. Put in your Photoshop presets scripts folder, then restart Photoshop. And here's your use cases. Bada bing, bada boom. That's what's next episode, I think. I always forget to turn off my little sound thing here, right? But that's built in. So if I want to, I can then go over, and then I'm over in, guess what, my library space. And then I'm over into taking over the entire screen. Now I'm back in Perplexity, and I was in the assistant. And the other thing that before I go, I do want to do is it has a news station built in. Here is, you go to Discover, it literally tells you every one of the news stories, and you can customize what it talks about. So here is the things happening right now. So if I wanted to, I could search. So these are other people who went and created a page about this. So if we want to find out what engineering cracks 6-bit crypto with quantum computer, this is a Perplexity page. Again, and you can ask questions of it. So this is real news that someone, so the person who did this, a lot of these are created by Perplexity itself, because they're basically just taking the news and creating a Perplexity page. And then you can go ask follow-up questions. So that's probably one of the, and then, oh, if you're into finance and sports, oh my God, you can have it do tracking for you, buy and sell and trade for you. Yes, sir. I'm not even joking right now. I don't even know what to do with that, or else I would. If you're a sports fanatic, forget about it. You're never going to go to any single other place forever. It's done. And it's now going to be on your phone. I'll never sleep forever. All right, man. Let's take this puppy home, because I think this
and
is
once again, yeah, that was great. Thank you so much for that. And if you are a student, if you have Venmo or PayPal, you can now get Perplexity Pro and the Comet browser either on your desktop or on your Android device for free for 1 year.
Yeah. And just to be fair, ChatGPT and Gemini are both free for students. Just use your EDU when you sign up for it. They're both free, and Gemini has some really cool flashcards, study guides. It has a mode you can go into just for learning. So if you want to learn a language, you talk to it in French or Spanish, and then it'll tell you, I did this for real. I was trying to learn the letter form quite right, Enye or something, whatever it was. And it told me how to move my tongue, like literally in the nicest way. I said, what am I doing wrong here? It says, well, you've got your tongue stuck up your top of your mouth. So, but yeah, Brandon, this has been an extraordinary night, and I think this is pretty good. I think we're getting better. And this is the worst it's ever going to be, as they say in the AI world, right?
We're getting better every week, and we'll be back next week. We'll do it again, and we'll chop up the show and get all the show notes up for you here on AITV on Rick's YouTube channel. Yep. I will see you guys over at the AI Learning Lab with Kyle Shannon, just down the hall, 3 doors down to the left.
So stay on YouTube and go over and see Kyle. I'm the opening
Learning Lab AI
before the real deal, man. And he is good. It's worth hanging out. In fact, he's been talking about Nana Banana for like the last week or so, right? On his show.
Yeah, but I actually, do you want the sneak preview? Because I have it. I have the details.
No,
we're talking all new stuff tonight.
Yeah.
So Midjourney has new
thanks
styling.
Everybody in the comments. I want to thank the real estate guy in Columbus. Yeah, I know who you are. I don't want to pull you. And thanks, Phoenix, for showing up. I really appreciate you. Yeah, she and I are working on a big project for an arts funded thing that hopefully we're going to get. We can't talk about it yet, but when we do, I'm going to show you how I did it and how we did it. And Phoenix was a great collaborator and he made this happen. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But the preview for tonight, which might be some of our topics for next week, Ideogram and Midjourney both got new stylings.
Yes. Character consistency for Ideogram. Yep.
By popular demand, according to this came out while we were on the air tonight. I got an alert while you were talking Perplexity. ChatGPT is rolling out branch chats on the web.
Yes.
So what you can do is you can now have one conversation and then split it and continue the conversation in multiple iterations.
And my understanding, and I'm going to make a list of who I follow. Just for fun, Matt Wolf is the guy you follow every Thursday. He comes out with his thing, or actually these days it's every 3 times a week or whatever. So I follow him. I also follow a couple other people that I'll leave those in the show notes. So I'm going to start to make a curated list of, if you want to find more people like me, AI Samson is really fun. If you like some irreverent, he's got a little sauciness to him when he does his stuff. He's always going to tell you how to make sexy women or whatever.
Make that list.
Make that list.
What it says. Make that list.
So every time we post, as soon as it's wrapped and it's in the can, chopped up, I'll put up a PDF, and then each page will have a link to go somewhere. So this is going to have all the links if you want to look at my Azamara in detail, and you want to look at what I'm doing and add to it, or if you want to collaborate. We're looking for people like Chris that you just met today. I want to have one person be our guest on each show. We'll start with a news brief, go deep dive with a guest about some subject, and then wrap it up with tool time. That's our show, and that's AITV. And from Rick McCauley, the AI guy, the dangerous man also, and
the producer.
Oh, man. We got to get a Liam Neeson voice for you. Brandon, the producer. Yeah, man. He produces the show, and he produces a lot of fun and love. And thank you all for joining in with the love and passion. Go forward and make a difference in the world. It's beautiful. Be kind and gentle to everybody, because we all need that right now. We're all worried. And let people not hold on to their fears, and open up their hearts by making them laugh, and they'll listen until you get inside the story that they want to hear. And you tell them something from your heart that's authentic, and you tell them that AI is not as scary. That's why I'm doing this show. I want to make it not so scary for everybody. I want to make you understand that hallucinations, yeah, you can control them. You're responsible for engineering them out if you're an educator. And I just showed you why Perplexity is the choice for an educator. That, and then in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll Google Notebook LM. The combination of the two are off the charts for educators. grounded, foundational, curated knowledge that you only share the artifacts of it after you've done the deed. And then we'll show you how to take a Google Notebook LM and take their audio and video PowerPoint thing. We're going to take out the content of the images in the video and render out even more spectacular slides. So you're going to see me turn something into a really useful with video kind of a thing. Maybe I'll take on the task of creating a photography classroom I'll clone myself. All my knowledge is going to go into this AI, produce beautiful thing, but it's me, right? I own it. So own your stuff, do the hard work. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you.
Good night.
Thanks, Chris, for joining us tonight. Good night.